All right, so here's the homework. See, there's a lot of bonuses. They're the continuation of the problems. Most of the problems today are talking about either a whole number divided by a fraction or a fraction divided by a whole number, which were the last two lessons. So I'm going to finish up the lessons that we didn't do today. I want to remind you of the first two lessons. We had this lesson that started off with 3 mini cakes that were cut into quarters, which is fourths, and we got a whole number as our answer. For the second one, we started off with 1/4 pan of lasagna. And this person wanted to eat it over 3 nights. So we took that 1/4 and we divided it by 3 to get 1/12. These two are the ones that you should focus on to see how the problems will look. Here we had this problem. It said the perimeter of a square is 1/5 of a meter. It's in your book. You should have copied it in your book, so I won't go through it. This problem, though, we started it in class. Most of you finished it, so I'm going to go make sure you understand what happened. It says that there's a pallet holding 5 identical crates weighing 1/4 of a ton. So because they're 1/4 of a ton, and it's asking how many tons does each crate weigh, we're going to start off, we did start off with 1 whole ton, represented by our tape diagram here, 1 whole ton, and we divided it into fourths. Now, our crates, our 5 crates, weighed 1/4 of a ton, so just this part. So what we need to do with that is we need to divide this into fifths. Okay, now when we divide that into fifths, it's not just 1/5. We have to divide the whole thing into fifths. Each section into fifths. Oops. And that gives us 5, 5, 5, 5, which is 20. So our question here, our problem here is 1/4 divided by the 5 crates. Equals 1/20th. Because that's what one of these crates is equal to. Just one of these is 1/20th of a ton. And then of course we need to make sure we put our statement. How many tons does each crate weigh? So I'm going to write each crate weighs 1/20th of a ton. Okay? Now, the second part of this says how many pounds does each crate weigh? Well, in order to figure that out, we need to know that 1 ton is the same as 2,000 pounds. Now, I know that off the top of my head. You probably don't know that. That's fine. You could always look that up. On a question, it would give it to you most of the time on a test. So now we have our answer. How many pounds does each crate weigh? We know that it's 1/20th of a ton, which is also equal to 1/20th times 1 ton. Now what we're going to do, let me change this a little bit. We're going to change the 1 ton to 2,000 pounds because they're the same. Again, if you don't know it, you can look it up. Our 120 is going to be the same. Excuse me. By the way, this is an LB. A lot of times with the LB, they like to fancy it because they don't want it to look like this, like mine did. Libras. Okay. Now when we multiply this, we get 2,000 over 20. And that's a division problem, boys and girls. Okay, hopefully you see that that's a division problem. And our answer will be 100 pounds. How did I get 100 pounds? I got 100 pounds because I know that 2,000 divided by 20 is 100 pounds. Yeah, but how did you get it? All right, so let's figure it out. Let's make sure you understand. 2,000 divided by 20 that's one time here. Subtract that 20. I get 0 here. 0 divided by 20 is 0. Subtract the 0. I get another 0. Bring that 0 down. 0 divided by 20 is 0. And there's my 100. Another way to look at it is we have 2,000 over 200. 20, excuse me. We can cross that out. And now we have 200 divided by 2. We know that 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 2 zeros after it. All right, so each crate weighs 100 pounds. All right, so first we found the fraction and then we found the pounds. We changed the measurement. All right, so here we have, Faye has 5 pieces of ribbon, each 1 yard long. So each of the 5 pieces is 1 yard long. She cuts each ribbon into 6. How many 6 will she have after cutting all the ribbon? Well, hopefully you see here or understand that she's starting off with 5 pieces of ribbon. Okay, so there's 1 piece of ribbon. There's another piece of ribbon. There's another piece of ribbon. There's another piece of ribbon. And there's another piece of ribbon. I don't know if I'm going to fit all 6 or 5. Oh, there's 5 pieces of ribbon. Okay, there's 5 pieces of ribbon. We start off with 5 pieces of ribbon. Okay, and then after it says she cuts each ribbon into 6. So she's cutting each one into 6. So that's why I'm cutting them into 6. Each ribbon, each one of these rectangles is representing 1 ribbon, and I'm cutting each one into 6. Okay, so I have 6 pieces in each. How many 6 will she have after all the ribbons? Cutting all the ribbons. So it wants to know how many of these, how many 6s. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show it to you on the number line like we did in class that one day. Maybe that will help a little. All right, we'll do a number line really quick. Okay, so each one of these is representing a section of the number line. And we start off with 0, 6, then we go 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, and I missed one. Sorry about that. Let's go here. 4, 6, 5, 6, and 6, 6. And I'm just going to do it really quick. This would be 12, 6. This will be 18, 6. This will be 24, 6. And this would be 36. Which 36 is equal to 5. Or excuse me, 36 is equal to 5. So 36. So there's 36's. So our answer is 36's. Okay, so what's the problem? The problem is our 5 is divided by 6's. So that's close to that first problem that we had. So this is actually a multiplication, and it equals 30. How long will each of the 6 be in inches? Now it says that each piece is 1 yard. So 5 yards there's 5 ribbons, so there's 5 yards. Okay? So we know that 5 yards is the same as 5 yards times 1 yard. Oops, sorry. 5 times 1 yard. Let me get a different color for this. So it stands out. So it's 5 times 1 yard. Now, our question is, how many inches in a yard? Now, most of you know that there's 36 inches. There's 3 feet. 3 times 12 is 36. Okay? So when I multiply this, this is going to get me the total amount of inches in the whole tape diagram. That's what I'm getting right now. So 36 times 5, I'll do it on the side just so that I have it in the tip of my tongue, but I want to make sure. Six times 5 is 30. 5 times 3 is 15, plus the 3 is 18. So it's 180 inches. So our whole tape diagram is 180 inches. Now, we cut each piece, or the whole thing, into 30 pieces. So our question now is 180 divided by 30. You see that? Oh, I forgot to put a couple things here, so please bear with me. I need to write how many sixes will she have after cutting all the ribbons. She will have 30 sixes. Okay. Now we are changing those 36s into, what we're figuring out is how long are each piece of ribbon, each of those 30. Okay, so we're dividing it, and when we divide, hopefully you see it already, that it's 18 divided by 3, which is 6. Okay. It's the same thing as 18 divided by 3, 180 divided by 3. I will do it over here. Okay, this is 6 times, because 6 times will give me 180. Okay, so each one is 6 inches. How do I check? 6 inches times 30 will give me 180 inches. So there's my check. All right, so each 6 will be 6 inches. All right. So we started off with 5 yards. We changed the 5 yards into 180. Okay, because 36 times 5 is 180. Then we know that there's 30 of them, so we're dividing the whole 180 divided by 30, and that's giving us 6 inches. All right, next and last problem. I'm running out of time, so I might not get through this. Let me go ahead and give you the word of the day. Animal cracker. It's more of a phrase. All right, that's the bonus word. A glass pitcher is filled with water. 1/8 of the water is poured equally into 2 glasses. So we have a pitcher that is complete. We have a complete pitcher. Pitcher, not a picture. Okay? Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now 1/8 of the water is poured equally into 2 glasses. So we have a pitcher. We're going to cut it into 8ths. Okay, and this is equal to 1 pitcher. And 1/8 of it is poured into 2 glasses. So here is my 1/8, and it's poured into 2 glasses. What fraction of the water is in each glass? So hopefully you see that the problem here is 1/8 divided by 2. So we know that this is going to actually be a fraction answer. And most of you know that you just need to multiply the whole number times the denominator to get your new one. But let's check to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 pieces. So one of these is equal to 1/16. So the answer is there is 1/16 in each class. Okay, so the next question. If each glass has 3 fluid ounces of water in it, how many fluid ounces of water were in the full pitcher? Okay, so again, I could basically copy this. Let's see if I can. All right, so I copied that. I'm going to erase this part here. I'm not going to erase that. I want to erase the numbers inside of it. Okay, well, that's going to be a little difficult, so I'm not going to do that. But I want you to see that in this little model next to it, it says that there's 3 fluid ounces in each cup. So there's 3 ounces here and 3 ounces here. So it's asking you how many ounces in the whole thing. How many ounces are there in the whole pitcher? So we don't know the answer to that. We don't know the answer to how many ounces are in the whole one. So hopefully you see that we have 3 times 16 as our problem. Okay, so that's 18, that's 48. So there's 48 ounces in the whole thing. All right, again, I'm running out of time. The C is a bonus, so hopefully you can figure it out on your own. Hopefully all of this is helpful, and don't forget to just rewind. The bonus word is up there. Remember to write it in your homework and point it out to me when I walk around so that you can get your bonus. All right? Any questions? Ask me tomorrow. Let me do this really quick because some of you are going to say, how did you get that? This is 18. That's 3 plus 1 is 4, 48. May the force be